Hello everyone, welcome to Alice and Anna. My name is Anna and today I'm wearing my glasses. I look a little bit more formal because I'm going to give you my tips and tricks to get a job. I actually have had a lot of jobs. I've had like probably around 7 different jobs. Some summer jobs, some more official full-time. But you know, Alice and Sid here are always asking me like, how do I get a job? Like, what do I put here? What do I put there? And I figured it would be like good for a video to make like a how to get a job, specifically in London, specifically for like retail jobs or like office jobs. It doesn't require that much skill, I guess. But also like how to write your CV. That's the first thing you need. So the first step to get a job is write your CV. I'm gonna put mine right here. I'm gonna blur out all my contact details, but you know, you can see where the name is and all of that is. So you would write your own, of course. So that's the first part that you have on your CV. It's always good to put your name, your nationality, your phone number, your email, all of that, so they know where you are, if you need a visa or if you don't need a visa, even though these are questions that they're probably gonna ask you later in life if you get an interview, but they're important so they can contact you if you go through the next step. Then what is next on the CV usually is your education or qualifications. So like if you have a PhD, like go ahead, put it on there. But I wouldn't start from below high school. I feel like high school is the lowest that you would have to put. I have high school because I'm currently studying my undergrad, so like it makes sense. But if you already have an undergrad, don't put your high school. I think it's pretty unnecessary. Just put your undergrad, maybe some like certificates or courses that you have, but that's about it. You don't really need much. So next you go and you put your work experience. Now I am a little bit extra and I put what skills I acquired in each job, but you don't have to. I think it's good though. And you can just put one skill instead of like 2 or 3 that as I've shown you right here, but you don't have to. That's not very necessary. What is very necessary though is the place that you worked at, your job description. If it's not a very common job description, for example, me, au pair, I wrote down full-time live-in nanny for 3 kids because not a lot of people know the term au pair. But for example, if you're a sales agent, that title speaks for itself, so you don't really have to do that. Make sure that you're putting what dates you work in that place for, because that is something that, you know, they need to know your timeline, how long you've taken breaks for, all of that. Next I have skills and languages. This is so important. Sometimes you can just put skills and, you know, not languages or whatever. For me, it's really important to put languages because as soon as they see my nationality, they know that English is my second language. So especially since I live in London and we speak English in London, it's really important that they see that I am fluent enough in English to do my job. If you have skills, Premiere Pro, Excel, all of those things, put them right there. If you have certificates, make sure to put them there as well. It's like, let's just say you're a first aid trained person, I don't know how to say it, but make sure to put that there because you should have a certificate. And then the last little thing is like, so there's 2 ways to call this. In my CV have honors and achievements. For me, I feel like it's better to put like awards or accomplishments, like for example, I was like the student accountant for a student group in my high school, and even though that is not like a prize or anything, it definitely shows that, you know, I had commitment in high school and I know a little bit of finances and all of that. So I just added that there. You could call this section hobbies and interests, but I don't know why, it just sounded less formal for me, so I just changed it. But it's up to you really, just write whatever you want. But just make sure that you're not writing like play guitar. I mean, write things that are like actually give them an idea of who you are and what you're doing, and make sure that you know the job that you're applying to so that, you know, whatever you're writing there actually will work for that job. Another thing though, like funny enough, my brother applied to a job where he put that one of his special skills was freakishly good in Flappy Bird, and he got the job. So that's my point. Get to know the company where you're applying to and then change your CV towards that. Super quick things about CVs though. Don't put your photo. You're not an actor. Do not put your photo there. Do not put your salary history. Like, Usually if you're applying to something like retail, there's always like a salary thing that they tell you before you even apply, so you don't actually have to like give them what you want to be paid. So, like maybe if you're applying for a job where they ask you what you want to be paid, then that's something else, but they will ask you that on the interview, so like do not put that on your CV at all. Just don't do it. Now sometimes it depends on the country, they like you to put references. In my experience in London, they don't like you putting references in your CV. If you pass to the next round and they like you in the interview, they will ask for your references. So I wouldn't put it down, but you know, up to you, but I wouldn't recommend it. Don't write down why you left your job. Like don't say like, oh, I got fired, or I left because I was like, that. Those are things that they again are gonna ask you on the interview, so just don't write it down. And the most important part though is stick to 1 or 2 pages max of A4s. Make everything small, compact, but easy to read, but just please don't go over 2 pages. People won't care. And if you can fit it in 1, that's even better. But if you fit it into like 3, people aren't gonna care. They're not gonna look over. Another tip is that a lot of the times, you know, we may not be as good as we think we are in Excel, or as good as the job requires us to be. And so my tip is don't lie too much. It's okay to fluff up yourself and sell yourself, but it's not okay to lie, because at the end of the day, this CV is going to take you to the interview and you're going to keep up with that lie, but then once you're actually at the job, they will fire you in 2 seconds. And that's going to speak very poorly of you, because that's going to take up time as unemployed, or it's going to affect your CV. So fluff yourself up, but just don't overdo it to the point where you won't be able to reach that skill. So if you're not able to like have quick fixes and you don't know the basics of it, just don't add it. Just don't do it. Apply to a different job. Honestly, you're gonna save so much time and you're not gonna affect your CV. So that's super important. Like don't say you know how to program when you don't really know how to program, because that's something that you can't learn overnight, okay? I'm watching you. Now that you've done your CV, that's pretty much your base. You're probably gonna send it out to every single person out there, really. Like the CV doesn't change that much. What changes the most is the cover letter. So whenever you're applying to a job, you mostly are asked to send a cover letter. Now this is one of the cover letters that I did for a receptionist at a student accommodation. It's very cheesy, I'm not gonna lie, but that's the entire thing. A cover letter, you first have to mention a little bit about your experience, why you think that experience is gonna fit the job you're applying to, why you think you're gonna be a great fit. And also, what I find really easy is that you have to know where you're applying, as I said in the CV. So Google the place that you're going to. So let's just say you're going to work at McDonald's. McDonald's has a website, and when you go to the missions and the values that the company stands for, they're right there. And you need to mention those values and all of that, because that will make them know that you will be a good fit in the company, but also that you've done your research and you know where you're applying to. Also, be polite in the cover letter. Each cover letter should be individual for each place you're applying to, so don't try to make copy paste, although most of it you can copy paste because it's about you. So that's great. The last thing is you got the interview. There you go. Great job. Number 1 tip ever. Know where you're applying to. If you're applying to a technology company, for example, they don't care about how you dress that much as if you're applying to a bank. So when you go to the interview, if you're going to a bank, you need to like dress up nicely, probably wear a suit, all of those things. If you're going to a technology company, you may get away with wearing jeans, although I wouldn't recommend it because it is your first impression. So you do need to clean up that a little bit nicer. But you know, if you're applying to McDonald's, it's not as serious as a bank. Just make a good impression, that's all you need. So clean up nicely, and if you can, for example, for retail jobs, I would recommend not wearing jeans. I would recommend wearing pants, and then a nice sweater and maybe a blazer, depends on how hot it is, maybe just a nice shirt, but as long as you clean up. In the interview, again, don't get nervous. They're gonna ask you questions about like, what are your insecurities, or like, what are you not good at? What are your biggest strengths and weaknesses? And honestly, I can't even tell you how to work those questions around, because every single answer is correct and every single answer is also wrong. Like, gracias. So let's just say they ask you your biggest weakness, and you're like, oh, being a perfectionist. It's like, is that a weakness? But then it's just weird. So just try to be honest, be yourself. At the end of the day, fluff yourself up, learn to sell yourself, but it's all about you and how you fit into that company. I know when they ask you why you want to work here, you want to answer so bad because I need money, but don't do that. Don't do that. I know I just told you to be yourself, but don't overdo it. Be professional, be serious, but also be nice. Always, always, always try to make small talk. So I found that when I'm being interviewed right before, it's always that awkward like walkway to the office or wherever. And I'm always like, so what's your name? Where are you from? Like, you know, make a little bit of polite conversation with them so you feel a little bit more at ease with them, but also they like you. So they're a little bit nicer to you. And then when you're in an interview, be nice, be polite. And when you're done, thank them for their time and, you know, just be like, I'll be waiting for your call. It was very nice to meet you. I really love, you know, the atmosphere here or whatever. In conclusion, my top tips is know the company that you're applying to, and then 2, be polite. And my 3rd tip is be you, but be professional. And those are my 3 tips. Honestly, that is it. I don't have crazy experience. All of my jobs are pretty like basic entry jobs because I'm only 21, and that's okay. You're probably not gonna get the dream job right away. You should apply to at least 20 jobs or more. Like, I swear I've applied to, I don't know, 200 jobs, and I've gotten hired 3 times, I think, or 4. So just get out there, knock on every single door you can, because one of them is bound to open, and you can do it. You can go get that experience and go get that money and make that bread. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comment section and I will make sure to answer them. And if you like this type of video, please leave a like. We also have how to rent in London, so you can go check it out around here somewhere. We upload every Monday and Thursday, so make sure to check those videos out, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Goodbye.